Welcome to Her Money Revolution. I'm your host, Angela Brooks, your guide on this journey to becoming a wealthy woman. As a certified financial planner, owner, and advisor at Family Capital Management, I'm on a mission to simplify the conversation around investing and to help women generate more wealth by making their money work for them. Join me as we navigate powerful financial planning strategies to help you achieve your personal and professional goals. This podcast is your go-to destination for no fluff, easy to implement financial and investing advice. If you are ready to achieve audacious financial goals, dream beyond boundaries, and generate massive wealth for you and your family, this podcast is for you. Grab a notebook. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to Her Money Revolution, the podcast where we empower women to grow their wealth by making their money work for them. I'm your host, Angela Brooks, and today's episode is all about hitting pause, reflecting, and resetting. Can you believe that we are already halfway through the year? Some of you started this year with big, audacious goals, fresh motivation, vision boards full of dreams and hopes. Others of you may feel like life just happened really fast and your financial goals got pushed to the back burner. Or maybe other goals that were on your vision board and you just haven't even looked at it again. And honestly, that's okay. This episode is not about guilt. It is not about perfection. It's about awareness. And we're only halfway through the year, so you have 6 months to get back on track. Because financial progress doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we slow down long enough to ask ourselves honest questions. A mid-year money reset allows you to course correct. It also allows you to celebrate progress. That allows you to adjust your financial trajectory for the rest of the year. Like I just said, we have 6 more months left. You can do a lot of things in 6 months. If we slow down and pause, by auditing our income, our spending, our debt, you can ensure that your financial habits are truly aligned with your long-term goals without feeling that overwhelmed. So today, I want to walk you through 7 powerful mid-year money reset questions that we should ask ourselves right now. Grab your coffee, maybe go for a walk, sit in your car for a few extra minutes before school pickup. If you're anything like me, I try to get there 20 minutes early so I get this best spot to leave once I get all my kids in the car. But whatever helps you think clearly. And let's do a little mid-year reset together. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive in. Question number 1. What has gone well financially this year? We are so quick as humans to focus on what we haven't done. We are so quick to focus on the negativity. But before you criticize yourself, I want you to pause and to look at your wins, big or small. Did you save more consistently? Did you pay down any debt? Did you finally ask for that raise? Maybe you started investing. Did you build up your emergency fund? Or maybe say no on a certain expense? You became more aware of your spending. Or maybe it's as simple as listening to this podcast and stop avoiding your finances altogether. All of these things can be little or big wins, and all of that matters. Progress, even a little bit, truly, truly builds confidence. And confidence changes behavior. And behavior changes lifestyles. One of the biggest mistakes that we can make is believing that we need to be finished. And I did my hand quotes. We need to be finished before we celebrate growth, right? That's a mistake. It's a bad mindset. But wealth is built through momentum, not perfection. So start your reset by acknowledging what is working and celebrate that. Question number 2. What financial habits are draining me? This is a big one because sometimes the issue is not income. Sometimes it's emotional exhaustion. Maybe you're overspending because you're stressed out. Maybe you're avoiding your accounts because they make you feel anxious. Maybe you're saying yes to everyone else and ignoring your own goals. Or maybe you're just trying to budget in a way that doesn't really fit your actual life. And here's what I've learned. Sustainable financial success comes from systems that support your life, not punish it. If your money plan consistently makes you feel defeated or overwhelmed or restricted, something needs to change. I promise you, it won't work. Your habits should create peace, not burnout, not anxiety, not stress. So if that's you, if you feel stressed or like you're not checking every box, let's do a pause and reflect on why is that? What's really going on? Okay. Question number 3. Am I spending money in alignment with what truly matters? What do you truly value? This question, or actually the answer to this question, can really change everything, because where your money goes is really going to reveal what is driving your life. You might say one thing, but your actual actions and what you're spending money on may say something completely different. What you say matters, of course, but what you're spending actually does reflect what's actually happening. So hear me clearly. This isn't about never spending money on fun things or, maybe once in a while going and spending a little extra more than you should. That's fine. There's a lot of grace in this. I love vacations. I love making memories with my families. I love creating experiences, and I like buying new clothes once in a while or shoes or getting my hair done. Don't feel guilty for that. Hopefully all of these things are in your budget, but it's the alignment that matters. And that's what I want to really, really focus on. I have a client that I met with recently, and she's single. She makes great money, and she feels like she's behind. And why do you feel like you're behind? And she's comparing herself to others and saying, I feel like I want to buy a Louis Vuitton bag and I want to buy name brand stuff. And I drilled in a little bit, like, why? And she didn't really have a great answer. I don't know. I just want it. Is it going to bring you joy? Is it going to, maybe yes. I have a Louis Vuitton bag and I absolutely love it. I use it every day. I got it 5 years ago when I passed my CFP. My lovely husband, bought it for me. But do I have multiple? No. Collecting dust in my closet? That's not what my values are. So maybe take a pause and really think or look at this, your spending, and say, is this truly aligned with my values? So I have an action step for you. Go back and review the last 2 or 3 months of your bank and credit card statements. See where your spending patterns are currently landing. Really look at where your money is going. Categorize your spending by asking yourself, am I spending intentionally? Am I spending reactively? Does my spending align with my values? Maybe you got to write down what your values actually are. Ask yourself, is my spending being driven by stress or exhaustion or convenience, emotions, or the comparison, right? Maybe you're spending money on things to keep up with the Joneses. The pressure to keep up with the Joneses, there's my air quotes again, is a massive drain on personal finances. Conspicuous consumption, I think is what they call it, right? Buying things simply to project wealth or social status. And this leads to a lifestyle inflation. It leads to lifestyle debt and less money left over for your own real financial goals. And honestly, this has been coming up quite a bit lately. I would just kind of briefly mention a client, but I'm going to dedicate an entire episode on this topic here in the near future. So stay tuned for that. But sometimes we don't realize how much money is quietly leaking out until we slow down to pay attention. So this is a great time mid-year to slow down and do just that. Maybe go through and cancel subscriptions that you no longer use, or audit some of those hidden monthly costs. Reduce the unnecessary spending leaks. Make sure your expenses stay below your income, right? And now is a great time to do that audit. Awareness creates clarity, and clarity gives you the power to change the direction if needed. Maybe you go through all this and you're like, I'm on track. This feels great. And it's just the boost that you need to continue going. That's great too. But let me ask you this. Are you spending money trying to impress people? Are you trying to numb stress? Are you trying to keep up with the Joneses? If that's you, stay tuned for my upcoming episodes. But if that's you, let's slow down for real and take an assessment of why we're doing this. Because I want you to be spending in ways that genuinely support the life that you want to build, not that your neighbor wants to build, not that your friends or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, not what they have identified for you, but what you want for your life. And the beautiful thing is that you get to design it by being intentional, by creating this clarity. You get to design it, and money is your tool. Every dollar is giving direction to your future. So you pick. I'm going to digress. I'm going to talk more about that later in another episode. Question number 4. What financial goal have I been avoiding? Or have my goals shifted since January? I am one, as you guys hopefully know already about me, I do have goals. I have vision boards. I have a lot of plans for my life. And when I talk to some people, they're like, oh, that feels so suffocating, or it feels like you're not allowing God to use you. And that all of that is just wrong and completely off track. But I wanted to, why I added that second part in here, because I have goals, and sometimes they shift, or sometimes they get postponed, or sometimes they just go away altogether. Like, I thought I wanted that, but now I kind of changed my mind. That's okay. It's not like if I put my goals down, financial or whatever it might be, it's not Bible. It's not like this is exactly what has to happen, but it's allowing myself to dream. It's allowing myself to think bigger than me. And when I set my goals, I do pray over them, and I do ask for direction from God. And I also fully believe that God gives you the desires in your heart. So if something is in your heart enough that you're going to make it a goal, it's not you being selfish or you being greedy or you just wanting material things or just you wanting to advance your career or whatever your goals might be. I believe that God has put that desire in your heart for a reason, right? My desires are going to be different than yours. So what financial goal have you been avoiding? We all have one. The investment account we haven't opened, or maybe that debt that you haven't faced, or the estate plan that you keep putting off because it's emotional to think about the what ifs, okay? Maybe it's a business idea that you keep talking yourself out of. I have a client that she's so unhappy. She keeps getting a new job and then quitting, and then getting a new job and then quitting. And she has this amazing business idea, but she just is afraid. She's never started her own business before. She doesn't know how to take the first step. And she finally quit this last job. And she's like, I think this is God telling me I need to start my business. This is what I've been trying to tell you for the last 2.5 years. So let's say she's starting a business this summer, and she's extremely excited. I am extremely excited for her. But sometimes that avoidance comes from fear, right? Fear of failure, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of not knowing enough. But when we avoid it, that avoidance is expensive. The longer we delay the financial decisions, the more opportunity that we will lose. You don't need to know everything to take the next step. And actually, I would say, I hope you don't know everything, right? Because if you do, then you've missed it. If you have all the answers already, man, why wouldn't you make changes years ago? All you need to do is take the next step. Make that phone call. It might feel big and overwhelming, but if you make a call and get some answers, it will direct you to the next thing that you're supposed to do. You just need to stop standing still and doing nothing, because then like 12 years will pass by and you'll be like, oh, crumb, where did all my time go, right? And also, let's acknowledge something important, that life changes fast. The goals that you had in January may not be the goals that make the most sense today, like I was saying earlier, and that's okay. Your priorities may have shifted. Maybe your income has changed. Maybe life got harder. Maybe you got married. Maybe your spouse passed away. Maybe your vision simply just became more clear or became clearer. That doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you're growing. It means you're living your life. Things happen. And I also believe the enemy is out there to kill, steal, and destroy. And he might be trying to distract you or to maybe shift those priorities. But now is the time to stop and to pause and to reflect and ask yourself, do my financial goals still align with the life that I want right now, today? And if your goals feel too big or too vague or too overwhelming, break them down into smaller specific milestones that you can actually realistically achieve by the end of the year. We have 6 more months. I believe you can do it. And I know that clarity creates momentum, and momentum creates progress. Question number 5. What would make the second half of this year feel successful? Notice I didn't say perfect. I said successful. Maybe success for you looks like building a $5,000 emergency fund. Maybe it's paying off a credit card. I have a client, same client I was talking about earlier. She has a student loan, a couple student loans, but one of them is a 7% interest rate and it's about $5,000. Meanwhile, she has $25,000 sitting in her savings account just in case. It's like, hey, let's just go ahead and pay that off. We talked about this last year. She was going to pay it off. And she said that. She's like, I know you told me to pay that off. I just haven't gotten around to it. So in our meeting, I said, let's go ahead and do that right now. That's costing, it's not much, but it's costing you something and it's just draining you. You got to look at it every month. You're paying it every month. So we took that time and sat there and logged in and transferred the account or transferred the funds to pay off that debt. And she's like, oh my gosh, this feels so great. I don't know why I didn't do this last year, right? But maybe success for you looks like finally starting retirement contributions or going on a vacation without debt. Maybe success is having monthly money dates with your spouse or learning how investing actually works. Maybe if you have young kids, it's taking time to sit down with them and talking about investing and talking about stocks and bonds. Maybe it's opening that 529 plan for them. Maybe success for you just looks like being less anxious every time you check your bank account. Your heart races and your palms sweat. Maybe you just don't feel that anymore. You're still checking your bank account. You just don't have that stress around it. That's success. Well done. For me and my husband this year, we had a huge success. We bought a condo. We bought a second home, a rental property up north, and we are extremely excited about it. I'm still learning. It's going to be a rental. I will have an episode on that as well. But that was it's been a big goal of ours the last since we've been together, really. And it was a more serious goal about 8 years ago. And then 5 years ago, and then a couple years ago, we put offers in on places. It just didn't work out. And finally, this year, it happened. And it's the best. It's amazing. We are super, super excited about it. But maybe that's what success looks like for you. And I understand it is deeply personal. I can't tell you what that is. Only you can do that. And only you can do that when you slow down and you take time to pause and to reset and to reflect. And I'll drill this point home one more time. That comparison act, it will steal your clarity every single time. I wish I could just say don't do it, period. Define success for your life in the season that you're in right now. And as you are thinking about this, as you are thinking about all of these things, know if you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or what stage in life you are, but no matter what stage in life you are, this is something that you should be asking yourself. Am I taking retirement seriously enough? Because retirement is not something that we prepare for someday. I'm sure some people do, but if you're listening to this episode or my podcast, I hope that's not the mindset that you have. Retirement is something that you're preparing for today, even if you're 20 years old, right? It's built through the small, consistent decisions that we make over time. So take a few minutes, and when you're doing your reflection and review your accounts, look at your 401k or your 403b, look at your IRAs, review your contribution percentages. Are you getting the full employer match? How much progress have you made so far this year? When I meet with my clients, they're always like, oh, I should have got this information. I ask a ton of questions, and they're always like, oh, I should have gathered this ahead of time. And people just don't do that. It's okay. This is why we have our meeting together at least once a year. So you can look at your 401k. So we can review your mortgage or your interest rates, or we take time to slow down and to have a good comprehensive financial plan. I need good data. So it's that time. If you're not meeting with your financial advisor, and maybe you are, and they're not asking you these questions, I'd find another financial advisor. But that is the time that you should be reflecting and really taking it seriously to say, yeah, here's my 401k balance, and here's my contributions and my employer contributions, and be proactive in looking at those things. And if your income allows, maybe, when you are looking at that, consider increasing your contribution percentage of 1%. Or 2%, the slight edge. I know a lot of 401k plans, they have that automatic 1% increase. That's great. Sign up for it. You won't even notice it. But if you're in a season where you can max out your retirement accounts before the end of the year, right now is a perfect time to revisit that goal and to create a strategy for making it happen. I'm working with a lot of my clients right now who are saying, hey, let's go ahead and increase that contribution in your 401k so you can max out by year end. And then we need to come back to it in January and reduce it because you'll be overfunding. But we're halfway through the year, so let's make progress while we can. I promise you, your future self is depending on the decisions that you make today. And if you start thinking about that, like your future person is going to thank you, right? All right, question number 6. What do I need more of financially? Not just materially, but emotionally as well. Do you need more structure? Do you need more boundaries, more confidence, more education? Maybe you need more income. Maybe you need more support. Maybe you need to tell your financial advisor, hey, I'm struggling here. I want to meet with you quarterly instead of once a year. Maybe you just need more margin. You're maxing out everything. Maybe we're on the other end. You're saving for retirement and you're not living for today. That's not my goal. That shouldn't be your goal either. Women often carry so much mental load that we forget financial wellness is connected to emotional wellness too. We cannot pour from an empty cup. And sometimes the best financial decision is creating more space in your life to think clearly again. Question number 7, who am I becoming through this financial journey? This may be the most important question of all because wealth is not just numbers. And I would say living a wealthy life is like not numbers at all. It's about your identity. It's about becoming. It's about becoming more disciplined, more confident, more intentional, more generous, more empowered, more peaceful. Maybe you fill in that blank. What are you trying to become? And when we understand that wealth is about our identity and becoming more of who God has created us to be, that is truly living a rich life. And then money just amplifies who we are. So the goal is not just to build wealth in dollar terms. It's to build a life that you are proud of, one that you can live a life with purpose and freedom, a life where your money supports your values instead of controlling your decisions. And I see you. You're evolving into someone who values freedom and who values intentionality and security. And through this journey with me, you are transforming from someone who may have reacted to money into someone who is proactively directing it. You are becoming resilient. You are becoming so capable and so clear-headed and building a foundation for your future. And maybe this mid-year reset isn't just about changing your finances. I hope it's not. I hope it's about recognizing how much you have already changed, how much you've already grown, the person that you are truly, truly becoming. So as we move into the second half of the year, I want you to remember this. You don't need to start over. You just need a reset. Small changes made consistently over time create massive transformation. And maybe this mid-year moment is exactly what you needed. I hope it is. Not to pressure yourself to do more, but to realign with the life that you truly want. And that's all I have for today. I hope it resonated with you. Thank you so much for being here with me. If this episode is encouraging to you, please share it with someone who may need that financial reset as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Her Money Revolution so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep building, keep believing, keep pushing, and keep blessing others along the way. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you are feeling more empowered in your financial journey. Remember, follow and subscribe to Her Money Revolution on your favorite podcast platform, and share your feedback by leaving a review. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway from today's episode. Until next time, stay inspired.